Welcome back guys. So in this video I'll be testing lossless scaling application on my Rog Ally. I have the Z1 Extreme variant of this device. This application is available on Steam Store. It's priced at around $7 roughly rupees 345 in India. It's a universal frame generator. Allows us to enable frame generation in games on all of the GPUs, Intel, AMD and Nvidia. Built using machine language to run on a wide range of GPUs. Even integrated graphic cards are supported. This is insane. It also provides scaling filters like FSR, NIS, etc. etc. Frame generation support was added to it a week ago. Now the developer recommends using this application in games that are running at least 60 FPS on a display that supports up to 120Hz refresh rate. Basically cap the in-game FPS to half the value of your display's maximum refresh rate. You can cap the in-game FPS using RTSS. I will demonstrate this in the later part of the video. It can also be used in a combination of 30 FPS and 60 Hz, but in this case, ghosting and artifacts will be easily noticeable as compared to the previous combination. I am not sure about any resolution cap. I have not tested the application in games running at a resolution higher than Full HD. On my Rog Ally, I have already tested AMD's driver level implementation of frame generation, that is AFMF, and lossless scaling app. I got better results with the latter in terms of added amount of smoothness. It was easier to perceive when I was using lossless scaling, and the app did not produce a lot of artifacts. In order to unlock AFMF on your Rog Ally, you need to install AMD's preview GPU driver for Radeon 700M series GPUs. I have already uploaded a tutorial on the channel. We'll drop the video link in the description. Now I'll show you how to configure the app. Just open it from your Steam library. There it is. I won't be using this application for the purpose of scaling the display or applying any upscaling algorithm. You can access all of the algorithms from here, FSR, NIS, etc. etc. I'll set scaling mode to auto, full screen, scaling time set to off. Both of these features are already present in AMD's Adrenaline software. Developer has provided a manual. They recommend running the game in windowed or full screen borderless mode. Scaling games in exclusive full screen mode is not supported. Set the game resolution from which you want to scale it to full screen. Click on the drop down bar under frame generation and select LSFG. Check the setting, clip cursor. Description for each setting has been provided. Just move the mouse pointer at the setting and the description will be highlighted. Prevents the cursor from leaving the game window as in real full screen applications. Scroll down. I have enabled VRR support as Rog Ally's display supports FreeSync Premium. The display automatically synchronizes its refresh rate with the frames produced by the PC's GPU in order to eliminate screen tearing. Produces a smooth animation. Even HDR is supported. Make sure draw FPS setting is checked. It will show us an FPS counter that is able to catch the effect of frame generation. MSI Afterburner overlay will not report an accurate FPS count with frame generation enabled. Rest of the settings are left as this. Then click on settings here. This is the hotkey for enabling this application, Ctrl Alt and S keys. Make sure Start as Administrator setting is enabled. That's it, click on close. First I'll be using this application with GTA 5 old school title. I tested it with Vulkan, DirectX 11 and 12 games. It worked with all of them. I have set the UMA buffer size to 6GB using BIOS version 336. For GTA 5 I'll cap the FPS to 60 using RTSS. There's the application. Just type 60 here next to frame rate limit. Command center. Using the 25 watts manual profile. All three values of power are set at 25 watts. CPU boost disabled. Display resolution set to 720p. Not using RSR. You can use upscalers if you want with lossless scaling application. Connected my DualSense controller to Ally via Bluetooth mode. I have enabled Radeon anti-lag from Adrenaline software. Screen time set to windowed borderless. DirectX 11 API 720p resolution. FXAA enabled. Very high settings. There's Franklin. Here game is running at 60 FPS. In order to enable lossless scaling app, you can press the hotkey Ctrl Alt plus S or just minimize the game and manually enable the app. Click on scale here. It will take 5 seconds to activate. Move back to the game. FPS counter will pop up. In the top left corner, there it is. App is trying to double the FPS. FPS count is 120. Let's see its effect. Yeah, I can definitely observe the smoothness. Rog Ally's display supports up to 120Hz refresh rate. Okay, when I move the camera quickly, afterburner's overlay flickers. Difficult to spot this. Drive the car. Check out the performance now. It's difficult to spot the FPS counter when it's in the sky. And now you can see the FPS counter, 120 FPS. High refresh rate displays benefit a lot from this application. I'll be testing the next game. Game's interface is not flickering. Display settings 720p resolution. I have enabled in-game FSR, set it to ultra quality preset. Refresh rate set to 120Hz. In-game VSync disabled. I have enabled VSync from AMD Adrenaline software using the original preset. There's Aloy. I'm in the city of Kaja marketplace. This area is very demanding. Here we are getting around 60 FPS. That's very impressive. Check out the input response. Now I'll enable lossless scaling app. Press Ctrl Alt and S keys together. There's the FPS counter. Took me so long. Yeah, I can observe the smoothness. Okay, I'm observing some artifacts as well on the bottom side. Not easy to spot. Game's HUD is also flickering. If I move the camera quickly, I tested Luke FC's FSR3 frame generation mod in this game. Even it had this issue. Flickering is not noticeable if I move the camera slowly, so that's good to see. In Luke FC's mod, flickering is very easily noticeable. 120 FPS, this is insane. Smooth as butter. I'll be testing the next game. No ghosting around the character model. So the 60 FPS and 120Hz refresh rate combo works very nicely. Now I'll be trying out the 30 FPS and 60Hz combo. I'll run Spiderman. Cap the FPS to 30. 720p resolution, not using any upscaler. Medium preset, ray tracing disabled. There's Spidey. Here we are getting around 30 FPS. Gameplay feels so sluggish. Now I'll enable lossless scaling app. Boom. There's the FPS counter, 60 FPS. Animation feels smoother with the app enabled. Okay, I can observe some ghosting around the character model when I move the camera quickly. Let me just swing around. Yes, Spidey's character model is flickering. I'll just set the FPS cap to 60 now. This flickering effect should reduce. Back to the game. In-game FPS count 60, lossless scaling FPS count 120. Game is running very smoothly. Some ghosting is still noticeable. So this game has some issues. Now I'll be testing the next game. Elden Ring. This game's FPS is capped at 60. It will be interesting to see how lossless scaling app works with it. Full screen mode, 720p resolution, high preset. I'm at the entrance of gate entrance. Check out the input response. Here FPS is around 46. This guy noticed me. I'll enable that. Frame generation FPS 60. I can observe the added smoothness, but I am also observing some screen tearing. I'll sprint to showcase the effect. Observe the bottom side. It would have been better if the game's FPS was not capped at 60. I'll be testing the next game. Last of Us Part 1, very demanding title. I have tested this game with Luke FC's FSR3 frame generation mod, observed flickering of the game's interface, observed the same problem in Lossless scaling app, but the intensity of flickering was on the lower side with this app. Show the game settings. 720p resolution, not using any upscaler. Display mode borderless windowed, using the low preset. There's Joel. Here we are getting around 46 FPS downtown outskirts. Games HUD rendered properly. Now I'll enable the app. On the fly. Frame generation FPS 86. Here I can observe the smoothness. Not observing any screen tearing. No ghosting around the character model. And let me show you the game's HUD. Okay, when I move the camera slowly, HUD does not flicker. Now I'll move the camera quickly. Yeah, there is some slight flickering. Not easy to notice. I notice it there. This app works very nicely with Last of Us. Even better than Luke FC's FSR3 frame generation mod. I'll test the next game. Now I load the third act of Baldur's Gate 3. DirectX 11. Video settings. Display mode set to borderless window. 720p resolution. In-game VSync disabled, not using any upscaler. Low preset. Start the game. There's my team. Traverse the area. Lower city. Here we are getting around 45 FPS. Now I'll enable Lossless scaling app. Yeah, it's working. Let me switch to the gamepad. Takes a few seconds. Frame generation FPS is around 105. Slightly higher than double of the in-game FPS. Game's HUD elements are not flickering even when I move the camera quickly. So app's effect varies from game to game. Really good to see this app working with Baldur's Gate 3. I'll be testing the next game.
Hello, fellow citizen. I'm not suspicious. Are you?
We can also use this application with non-Steam games. I am the Rockstar Social Club version of Red Dead Redemption 2. In this game, I observed less flickering of the game's HUD elements using Lossless scaling app as compared to Luke FC's FSR3 frame generation mod. Game settings. 720p resolution. Screen tab set to windowed borderless. In-game VSync disabled. Texture quality set to ultra. Rest of the settings are set to medium. Not using any upscaler. DA set to medium. Using DirectX 12 API. Playing as John Marston. Here we are getting around 60 FPS. Oh, the graphics in this game look so stunning. I'll enable the application now. Scale. Back to the game. There's the FPS counter with frame generation on. FPS got doubled. Okay, I'm observing some ghosting around John. Move the camera quickly. It's not easy to notice it if you move the camera slowly. Minimap is not flickering, that's good to see. Input response. Aim my weapon. No ghosting around the crosshair. So good to see this application working with Red Dead Redemption 2. In the end, I was very impressed by the results produced by this application. Worked with all of the games. 60 FPS and 120Hz refresh rate combination worked the best. I'll end the video here guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.